Welcome back to Strings and Pucks. This is Jeremy. This is my next journal entry in my monetization journey. And honestly, this may be my last one before I hit that first level of 3,000 watch hours. So I'm going to tell you how we got here. I'm going to tell you maybe some tips to help you with your own channel and try to figure out where we'll be next week and see if we'll be celebrating that first milestone. Let's do it. Last week when I did the first of these videos, I just passed 2,500 hours, and I kind of wanted to document the last 500 or so hours. So, and you'll forgive me, I'm going to be using my phone for some notes, just there's a lot of numbers going around. So last week, what got me to make this video was on February 23rd, 2026, I was at 2,548 verified watch hours. As of today's video, I'm at 2,776. That's a jump of 228 hours in just over a week. At this point, I'm 224 hours away. So if I can manage that same jump, and that's not easy, not for this channel, that would have me over the line to 3,000 by 4 hours. But that's if I can replicate that. I'll tell you where I think I'm going to land, when I think I'm going to get there. Remember, when I look at verified hours, and hopefully I'm showing you a screenshot, if you go and look at your monetization screen, again on the iPad, that's what I'm using, it's the dollar symbol. You'll see what your verified watch hours, and it gives you a date. And for me, that date is March 4th. Today's the 9th. That's 5 days ago. I talked a little bit last time about how you can kind of track where you're going to be, and that's by tracking your 365-day rolling average. All of this is based on 365 days. Just a quick recap. To get to monetization, stage 1 monetization, 3,000 watch hours and 500 subscribers in a 365-day period. Because after 365 days, any content that you made, those watch hours fall off that rolling average. So if you want to see where you may end up, you go to Manage Videos, and the Analytics tab will tell you your up-to-date hours, but they're not verified yet. That tab, the Analytics tab, looks like a graph, and when you pull it up, it will tell you your last 28 days of progress, your total subscribers, and some other information all within the last month. So you can see on this screen in the last 28 days, I've added 91 subs, 938 hours, and almost 10.9K new views. And for me, that's actually quite a bit. That's not a normal month. At the bottom of this screen, you can see the See More button. If you click that, there's a drop down where you can select some different options. And remember, for monetization, you're tracking 365 days rolling average. So if I select that, I'm going to get my updated hours as of today. I'm not going to show you these. I do want it to be kind of a surprise. By tracking this number every day and just by doing the subtraction, I can figure out how many hours are missing in that 5-day period. So if I take my total hours as of today and I subtract it from my total hours as of 5 days ago, I get the numbers that should show up within 5 days on my verified hours. And right now, that's over 200 hours. Again, I don't know if I calculated this correctly, but I want to talk about last week. So last week, when I started to do projections, I realized if I was clicking along well, I could be within 300 hours by today. And I'm actually farther than that. I'm within 224 hours. So last week I did 5 videos and 4 live streams and even a couple of shorts. For me, that's a lot. And honestly, it was too much. But I wanted to see if I could push my numbers as close as possible, where next weekend when I did my live, to see how close I could get to that 3,000 mark. So this coming Friday, all of those numbers will be added. And if I figured it out right, it's over 200 hours. And here's some of that breakdown. Last week I did 4 lives. In the live on Friday, there were over 228 views total, and it added 80 hours to my watch time. I did a 2-hour live music. I call it my acoustic coffee shop Friday warm-up. And all the views of that totaled about 80 hours. Then on Sunday, when I do my acoustic Sunday, and that's more worship songs, church type music, that added another almost 30 hours. So between those 2 live streams last week, it's about 110 hours that it's going to be added on. You count the other 2 live streams I did and the other 5 videos, and again, if I've calculated it right, there's another total of over 200 hours coming. So by Friday, I'm going to be, I believe, very, very close. Yesterday I posted, is after 2,500, I'm posting every 100 hour mark, So I did, when I hit 2,500 hours, when I did 2,600 hours, and now that I've passed 2,700 hours. And one of the comments asked me, how long did it take you to get there? I'm posting that comment on the screen. Now, I'm not putting the username because I didn't clear this with him. So I've shown you how to look up your numbers, how to try to figure out your number and where you're at. But if I'm giving an honest timeline about how this works, I really started this in earnest last May. The channel Strings and Pucks was started in October of 2024. And I was just doing some random entries. It was going to be all guitar and hockey, kind of like a Wayne's World feel. But in May of 2025, I did a gear demo. I demoed a distortion pedal for a company called Bootlegger Guitar. And that's when I really started to make a push. And it was around May and June when I was introduced into the community. I did not know there was such a thing as YouTube communities. And I've said this before, a lot of credit goes to 3 different channels. First, my friend Ubie, and I should be doing a screenshot of his channel here, as well as TED Talks, Guitars and Life, and Searching for Tone. Each of those channels do these incredible live streams where they're very welcoming, they greet you, and on Ubie in particular, he gives people a chance to promote their content and their channels. So Ubie's where I learned everything about how to do a live stream, about how to promote your channel, but more than that, it's where I started to make a lot of friends. And between Ubie, Ted, and Brian over at Searching for Tone, I made friends in this community, and they started coming to my channel, subscribing, commenting. And this is where I learned another big lesson. There are so many communities where you can grow your channel. You can exchange playlists, you can get more subs, but people really do want some authenticity. So when you go to these channels, and I encourage you, please, especially head over to Ubie, check it out. You won't believe how much fun they have in the chat. Ubie's journey has been how he's been learning to be a lead guitarist over the past year, now more than a year. And you can see the progress, you can hear all the fun, it's completely interactive. And he helps people to grow their channel and the community. But you also need to be engaged. When you're not there to make relationships, when you're not there to be invested in people, it sticks out like a sore thumb. So as much as you want to grow your channel, and I've had to learn this lesson too, it's easy to fall in the trap of just showing up to things, trying to get subs and trying to get people to your channel. But this is about having fun, and it's about building communities. So when you go to a community, when you go to one of these channels, or if you're in my live stream or anyone's, obviously people make it fine to promote your channel, but don't just show up and drop your links and take off. If you're going to be there and you want to grow with the community, be a part of it. You don't have to be commenting, you don't have to do all that stuff, but again, people start to look for authenticity, and I have seen some people that kind of start to take over a live stream. They're just promoting constantly and then they take off. That was something that was a tough lesson to learn, that you can burn a lot of bridges that way, and you may grow your channel numbers, but you're going to miss out on making some great relationships. But after May and June, when I made the video, I meet Ubie, Brian, and Ted. In July, Brian from Searching for Tone, he gave me a suggestion. I had hockey videos and I had guitar videos, and there was no form to it. Brian suggested I split the channel, and I was heartbroken because I was getting near 100 subs last July. I was at about 80 subs in mid-July when he made the suggestion, and probably not even 100 watch hours at that point. But I did it. I split the two channels up. Now I have a channel called The Red Wings Report. That channel is fully monetized. I do pretty much daily entries there, just giving thoughts on hockey. And then I have this channel, which music channels, they grow, at least in my experience, they're tougher to grow. But this is my passion. I love doing music. And I'm sorry for the shadows. Trying to deal with the Michigan sun today, it's just not working. But anyway, so May is when I really started to push. June is when I met the community. It's those three channels that really helped me to grow and helped me to plug in and make some friends. And in July, I split my channel into two channels. And in July, like I said, I had about 80 subs and less than 100 watch hours. But that's when I really started to focus. I hit 100 subs in August. So today is March 9th, and I'm at just over 1,770 subscribers. And that's up almost 1,700 from where I was in July and August. And my watch hours, I wasn't keeping track of verified watch hours yet, but as of December, I had just over 400 verified watch hours in early December. So since early December, I've added 2,300 watch hours, and since last May, I've added about 1,700 subscribers. And again, this was just learning to be consistent, learning to do live streams, and learning exactly what I enjoyed doing. Because if I didn't have the live streams that I'm doing, I wouldn't be enjoying this. And Ubie was a big part of getting me started on that. So if you're starting a channel and you just want me to lay it out for you, how long is this going to take and what do I have to do? If you're just starting, you need to look at this as a year-long process. Because if I started last May and I end up getting monetized in March, that's 10 months. And honestly, things had to speed up quite a bit for me to be 10 months. And again, I'm so sorry for the shadows. The lighting's horrible in this one, but hopefully it's still worth your time to watch this if you're trying to grow your channel. Make relationships. Meet channels where they encourage you, they help you to promote, but also build relationships in there. Don't just show up to drop your links and to grab a few subs and take off. You really do hurt yourself in the long run doing that. And the hardest part of this, because eventually someone's going to ask, I don't know of any shortcuts that you can take. YouTube allows you to promote your videos. You can pay money through Facebook and do those things, but I know companies that are using that as their ad campaigns, and you might get a ton of impressions. You may even get some subs, but I just haven't seen where it pays off in the long run for anybody to do that. But if you promote your videos on YouTube, if you pay the money to them to promote your videos, those watch hours don't count. They pull those watch hours off of your total. So it may be exciting when you see that promote button and you may want to hit it to get more views, but understand that's not going to help you to your goal. You may have other reasons for wanting to do that, and that's fine, but it really doesn't help you in terms of adding hours that you can use for your final total. I'm trying to find a way to put a button on this because I feel like this is probably going to be my last pre-monetization journal on this. It's getting very close. Like I said, I'm 224 hours away. And I know that in the next 5 days, just over 200 hours are going to be added back on. So last week, I think I already said this, I did 5 videos and 4 live streams to try to push myself over the finish line. This week, I'm doing this video. This is kind of more of a help you find your way guide and just something for me to remember this process. It's taken me, from the time I really started trying, it's taken me 10 months and a lot of hard work to get this close. And that's to answer the question I was asked earlier. Some of you will go viral and get there much, much more quickly than I have. I can't account for that because I've never done anything that's gone viral at this point. This is just getting up and looking at it each week and trying to grind it out. But by Friday, my hope is I'm very, very close to the 3,000 mark, that once those hours are added back on, it'll be close. And honestly, I'm hoping this weekend to do a celebration live stream to say we were there. So to help me get there, I'm doing this video, but tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm probably going to do some type of live stream. And then Wednesday, I may even do something as well. So you can see I've kind of put in a lot of work, a lot of extra work lately to get more hours than normal. But if I wasn't enjoying this, if I hadn't made so many friends and met channels like the 3 that I mentioned, Ubie, Searching for Tone, TED Talks Guitars, more recently, Okie's Eden, Coach Juliette, Tuber Chat, Phairbricks Studio, who constantly is promoting and encouraging people. And on all those channels like Tuber Chat and Okie's and Coach Juliette, they're allowing people to promote their channels, but you're also making friends. I'm meeting some great people who I see in the live streams and I see in the comments. Go to those channels, and the source as well. The source has been a huge help, and thank you for your help on that. But for me, it all started by going to Ubie's and learning how much fun everybody could be, and going to Ted and Brian. So head over to my friend Ubie. If you're looking at growing your channel, but more than that, if you want to be part of a community, go check him out and you'll see what I'm talking about. That was a big first step in my journey. Thank you, Ubie. That's why I've got his coffee mug, his Embrace the Suck mug. And hopefully, and I am starting to believe it, next week's video will be a We Made It 3,000 hours celebration. Thank you to everybody who's helped me get there. Apart from making the videos, if people weren't watching or coming to my live streams, if I hadn't made friends along the way who weren't supporting me, watching videos, watching playlists, none of this would be possible. So for me, for Jen, for the fur babies, the kitties over here, we want to thank you so much because you've helped me to make some dreams come true at a time when I thought that just wasn't going to be the case anymore. So this has been a huge encouragement. This is Jeremy. Go after your dream. Hopefully I've given you some tools where you can help set realistic goals, get away from some of the frustration. Just understand that it takes time, and that if you're not enjoying what you're doing, it may not be worth it to chase after some of these goals. Just make sure you love what you're doing and be good to yourself and others. And I'll talk to you soon.